Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I regret I had to step out to go to a hearing upstairs. The committee should look at not scheduling hearings in different subcommittees at the same time. Administrator Fugate, I think you made a number of excellent points, and when you talked about being a ham radio operator, obviously that is a potential backup. I was recently in Japan, and one of their greatest regrets is that they didn't have enough deep ocean sensors, and they underestimated the size of the tsunami. And they did manage to get out a warning with that original estimate before the electrical grid went down in those areas, and they had no further capability of broadcasting and warning people. And therefore, many people sheltered in places that actually were below the crest of the tsunami and died. So they've now moved to a cell phone based system and required resilient cell towers to be built. Are we looking at anything like that here in the U.S.?
Yes, sir. Part of the charge you gave us in the FCC was to develop wireless emergency alerts, which, working with the carriers, we actually implemented faster than we thought. So right now, every cell phone being manufactured today is required to be able to transmit a wireless emergency alert, part of the emergency alert system. Tsunami warnings are built into those. So if there's a triggering event, the originator for that will be the National Weather Service Tsunami Warning Centers. In the case of Oregon, it's going to be the Alaska Warning Center. It would go out. It is geocoded to the areas of impact, so those counties and communities at risk would get those notifications over their cell phones. You cannot, you don't have to opt in, you don't have to sign up. The only thing you can do with a cell phone is turn it off and not get the alerts. So unless you've done that, a tsunami warning would be issued. It would be transmitted upon that point and go out. I think you do point out, though, one of the challenges, which is why we work very closely with local levels, it's hard to get the magnitude of the tsunami, so the evacuation zones pretty much have to be what's the maximum risk, we got to move now. A phased approach, we generally don't have time, particularly with Cascadia. It's too close to the coast. And that's why we tell people, even before you get the warning, if you feel shaking, you got to move to higher ground, because even with a warning, you only have minutes to move. But the cell phone system now, as soon as the Weather Service issues the warning, it will get transmitted to those areas. We've actually seen this occur already. But it has answered this question of what will wake people up in the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. And your cell phone buzzing and humming and making strange noises was the whole purpose of the wireless emergency alert system.
And when phones manufactured, after what date were required to have that, do you know?
It started, I believe I'd have to look at the exact date, but it's been about last 2010, 2011 that all new handsets, Apple, the iOS was the last of the handsets to incorporate this in. And so pretty much all the new handsets now have this. Mm-hmm. And as we see the replacement cycle of cell phones, we've actually now third, fourth, fifth replacement cycles. So we're getting good penetration now with those systems.
That's great. Yeah, actually, I've been on an airplane here where we were held on the ground because of thunderstorms, and everybody's cell phones started buzzing as they had like a tornado or alert or something. I can't remember what it was. Yes, so that is great progress. To the Honorable Ms. Hoffman, just on the issue I raised earlier, the transformer issue, it does seem really critical, and they are very expensive. They are cumbersome, hard to move. But I mean, where are you at in evaluating the potential or possibility of having some, backup or replacement transformers in a strategic reserve? You're analyzing that, or where are you at in that process?
Thank you very much, Congressman, for the question. The Transformer Reserve Plan that was required as part of the FAST Act is in progress. We have contracted with Oak Ridge National Laboratory to do an assessment with respect to transformers, the transportation issues, any sort of where they would be placed, volumes and size. As you are well aware, the transformers in the United States are quite unique, and we have to also look at a parallel process for how do we look at standardization, look at next generation transformer for additional manufacturing. We are also in the process of assessing the transformer manufacturing in the U.S. DOE has had several reports out with respect to transformer manufacturing. There are several manufacturing entities in the U.S., including FSEC, Georgia Transformer, ABB, Waukesha, GE Prolic, and Hyundai. Those are the transformer manufacturers in the U.S. Is that enough capacity we need? I would say we need more capacity with respect to transformers, so it's important that we continue to look at a transformer sharing program. So we are in progress and on target to meeting that deliverable for the committee.
So what was the timeline that was established for the conclusion?
The timeline that was established in the FAST Act was 1 year from enactment, so it would be due in December.
Okay, great. Are you aware whether or not the Regional Power Administration, the Bonneville Power Administration is, I mean, are you working with them? Because they obviously have most of the, are interlinked in some places with private, but for the most part provide for the, power transmission, high voltage power transmission. And some of that, and half of that, well, part of it is DC. So we actually have two different sets of transformers.
So thank you very much for highlighting that. Yes, we are working with the power marketing administrations, which includes WAPA, Bonneville. They are a core asset to the Department of Energy as well as a core asset to the electric infrastructure writ large. So they are a very important part of the conversation. As required by the FAST Act, we will do consultation with industry and with experts in this area.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair recognizes